Hello and welcome to the show. Now, you guys pointed out that I haven't taken a Japanese car up our snowy hill climb course. So today, that is going to change as the R33 Skyline is going to hopefully turn into a monstrous hill climb car. I'm not sure, although to be fair, I wasn't sure how the BMW was going to turn out. I'm not sure whether this is going to have enough power in it. Or it might have enough power, might be a bit too heavy. We will see, though, how things end up with this car. Of course, we're going to have to go for these snow tyres. I mean, we'll go for as big a tyres as possible on the car. 285s all... was it 285 all round? I think it was 285 at the front, yeah. So we've got lovely big tyres. We should have a lot of turn in with this vehicle. We might have a little bit of oversteer, potentially. Oopsie, didn't mean to click that. Yeah, we will have to wait and see on that front. Now, we don't have to worry about changing the driveline. It's already all-wheel drive. We will, of course, have the Forza aero parts. We may come back to the bonnet, as it is a little bit lighter if we have room for the PI. Not going to bother with side skirts or rear bumper, as they sometimes add PI. I think they were slightly reduced drag, but they increase weight, and seeing as, yeah, we don't need to worry about drag on this course particularly. Don't really see the point in them. We will, just out of curiosity, let's see what engines we do have. The Turbo Rally engine. I'm not sure why you'd put the Turbo Rally in. I guess it's a little bit lighter, but you can get the Turbo Rally engine in, and you can get the 6.2 litre V8. I don't think we're going to need to, though. The standard engine in this car should be more than powerful enough to get it to the top of S1 class. The tougher decision is going to be what we do regarding weight reduction on this. I don't know how much PI it's going to take. That takes us to the top of A class without having touched the engine. So we can get it down to 2,800 pounds. However, of course, it will use up a bunch of PI. I think we might get it down to 3,200. And then we'll shove as much engine bits as we can in it and maybe come back. We'll see what it's doing, really, by the time. I don't think we're going to have quite the power-to-weight ratio that we had last time. I think it's just not going to be there in the Skyline. Hopefully, it'll be decent handling. We might be able to make up some time through the corners. But, yeah, I don't think we're not going to have the crazy power. It's still going to be relatively okay for power, up to 520 horsepower. In this car. Now we're kind of just adding on extra bits and pieces as we go through. We might get 600 horsepower out of this, and with some lovely big front tyres, we might be able to carry a bit more corner speed. Not quite 600 horsepower, very close though to it. And then we have one PI left to play around with, which we can use on a flywheel. We'll see if we can get anything else in here. In fact, hold on, that reduces PI and gives us a better gearbox, so I will do that. That's a given. We will go with... Actually, do I want clutch or do I want driveline? I'm not sure. We'll see. Oh, we can actually get a driveline in as well. Yep. I'm actually surprised there's so many parts on this that are essentially giving me free... I say free upgrades. They're not... that will, unfortunately, tip us over the edge. They're just not costing us PI points. 588 horsepower, 3,100 pounds in the Skyline. So, yeah, power-to-weight ratio isn't as crazy as the BMWs. While it's got about, 80 horsepower more than the Lancia, we are 1,000 pounds heavier than the Delta. The hope is that we might have a lot of corner grip, so we might be able to carry the speed through the turns with this car. Of course, to test out the Skyline, we have come to the Devil's Corners hill climb. It is going to get 3 runs up this course in an attempt to beat the BMW 2002 Turbo. The target, a 158.4. In all honesty, if I can get the Skyline under 2 minutes up this course, I think I will be doing relatively well. Statistic-wise, I'm not so sure if this car is going to be massively strong. However, having said that, I have also thought that about Skylines in the past. If you remember the Horizon 2 rally car builds that I was doing, an R34 Skyline didn't have great statistics, but it was very fast. So, maybe this car will turn out to be very good. I'm not sure. We will have to see how it goes. The acceleration is certainly not as ferocious as that of the BMW. The turn-in, we don't have as much grip as I would as I would ideally like, and if we were going to be making up time, I think we would need more grip than this. We'll wait and see how it's going. It doesn't feel massively fast at this moment in time. However, sometimes cars that don't feel fast actually turn out to be very quick. Sometimes cars that feel quick turn out to be very slow. It's, yeah, who really knows? Sometimes with these vehicles, at least it's relatively smooth at the moment. It's certainly not leery, oversteery and out of control, which is nice. I mean, how are we doing acceleration-wise? It's a few miles an hour down on... I think it's probably what we're going to see throughout the entire course. It will be a few miles an hour down on the likes of the BMW. It's whether we're carrying a little bit more corner speed, and that's where I'm not really able to to give a comparison. I can glance down at the speedo when we're on a long straight, but as far as speed at the apex of a turn goes, have absolutely no idea. We're bouncing and bumping our way around this course as we now head onto the horrible, icy back straight. Dab on the brakes. Oh, no. We're going to brush the wall. We're going to end up very wide. In fact, it was 100 miles an hour across that jump. Actually, 104 miles an hour across that jump in the BMW. Yeah, it's not been a very good end to this run. It's going to be in the 2-minute ones. A bit scruffy towards the end of that run. I'm not sure we're going to be able to find the 3 seconds required to challenge the top of the table. However, there is time to be found. So it is on to the second run. We've been visited by 2 ghost cars. That is double the luck. I'm not quite sure. I love the ghost cars that go on here sometimes. It is very entertaining. That's a better turn 1. It's a much better turn 1. Although, yeah, it's good enough through the corners. I mean, this is not, don't get me wrong, this is not a bad car. However, I just don't think it's got the speed perhaps necessary. Oh, God, that understeer, and then huge oversteer on the way out. That's not going to help matters whatsoever. Yeah, if we had some more front-end grip, if we could carry a bit more speed through these corners, then maybe we actually, really could challenge the faster cars. As it isn't that much better. It certainly doesn't feel that much better through these corners. And then you lack the acceleration as well, then you put that all together and it's going to be losing time over the length of the course. Come on, Skyline, again, jumping on that power, trying to do what I can with the car, with almost 100 miles an hour across the first of the jumps. Doesn't feel massively comfortable on the landing. Brakes don't seem too bad. Again, it's sometimes hard to tell when you've got a car. I mean, this is going a little bit slower in all of the braking zones in comparison to some of the other vehicles that have gone, so trying to give a fair comparison at times can be a little bit more challenging. That does seem to get slowed down pretty damn nicely. We can actually, that was a mega line through that turn, which is always helpful, although we're going to get caught on the ice. Oh, we've got everything under control. Amazingly, we've got everything under control and around the next turn there, which is good. Much more speed now up towards the second big jump. It is a little rough. Oh, a little rough on the braking zone. You see, I was braking a bit too early into that penultimate corner a few times now, so I was going braver this run around, and then that was a little too late. There were bits that were faster, there were bits that were much scruffier that time around. Again, it's a 2:01.4. I think maybe under a 2 minute is possible if I get it all correct. Well, the pressure is very much on as we head to the final run for our Skyline. We need, well, 2 seconds over the course of this run if we are going to beat a Transit. And yes, I know that is a weird thing to say, however, that is very much the case here. I think the Skyline is rather unlucky with the Forza PI system. It doesn't have the power for the crazy acceleration, and while the handling is not too bad, it's not fast enough. Through the corners, we're still struggling to get the front end turned in at, well, much faster than any of the other cars that have gone up this course. And you put that together, and you just don't quite have the pace. I'm going to do everything I can to try and get a quick time out of this car. However, it's just, I don't think, quite there. I mean, at the end of the day, this hill climb route is still relatively balanced for cars, considering Horizon 3 is quite notorious for being favourable towards very, very crazy high-powered cars. We are still relatively close in terms of the overall leaderboard. However, I don't think we're going to really be able to challenge the likes of that BMW up here. If we had that bit more front-end grip and that I was kind of hoping / expecting to get from this car, then maybe, but we don't. We just can't get the front end turned into these turns and well, that much better than we could with the BMW. We've hit some bumps and ended up out a little bit too wide through there, although we can carry good speed. It is good at that turn. It is good at carrying speed through there. We're now onto the ice across the bumps. We go in the Skyline, get it slowed down, tiniest bit of movement from the rear of the car as we cross the big second jump, penultimate turn. Around we go here. Now I'm really putting the car across to try and get as smoother a run through the final turn. Sprint towards the line with the Skyline. We did go under 2 minutes. I think it was very close. Yes, we did. Just under 2 minutes. A 1:59.9 from the Nissan. Yeah, it is a solid car and a fun enough vehicle to drive up here, but overall, we are just lacking that little bit of speed. It will go into 5th place. On our table, it does beat the Lotus X Siege. However, we are, well, over half a second down on the Ford Transit. We are about a second and a half off our leader. That does also confirm relatively balanced course that this is, comparing, you know, the Skyline that has some obvious struggles with the PI system up against the, well, 2002 Turbo. That is a good showing, I think. A good showing from the Skyline nevertheless, but yeah, at the end of the day, can't carry enough corner speed or can't accelerate fast enough to keep up with the other vehicles. However, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.